G'day, folks. Welcome. Thank you for listening to me, taking a couple of minutes out of your life to listen to this questionable content and value. Spurs. Spurs about to go into their final next week against Man United. Just want to say that this video is not about soccer as such. It's about storytelling. All this year, there is so much content on Spurs. Sack Ange out, Ange in, Ange out, because of the season they've had. What do they end up fourth last or something? And here we are into the final. And if they win the final, then Ange is going to be the hero, especially after he said what he said about always winning in his second season. With the internet, TikTok, YouTube, what I'm doing now, which I guess is irony, people just need to say stuff, and they know that the more stuff they say and the more outrageous they say it, the more views they're going to get. Like the guy, Manchester United guy, is famous because of his rants. Yeah, there's a guy, Spurs guy, Expressions or something. And he knows it's a performance, and they rant and rave when Spurs concede a goal. I mean, fair dinkum. Through this season, there have been times when Spurs have smacked good teams. Man City, Villa. There are times when they've lost against bad teams, but very little is said about the fact that certain players, and they all make mistakes. Certain players will give the ball away in a bad area, or let the guy get a cross in over and over again, and concede goals. But somehow it's all Ange's fault. Like, how about a bit of heat come down on, like, Pedro Porro is an enigma because he does enough good stuff to keep his spot. But in between all the really good stuff, there's a lot of bad stuff. His defence, he just lets his opposite number do what he wants, basically, most of the time. Actually, his last couple of games have been his best games for the season. Anyway, I digress. Certain players, and that's all of them. Bergville in one of the games, one of our best players, messed up in front of goal, bang. In other words, it's not all about Ange. And coming from Australia, I just don't get this whole fixation on the manager is the fault of everything. And yeah, they take responsibility at the end of the day. But wow. So, hypothetically, if Spurs win against Man United in Bilbao, where's it going to put Ange in the pantheon of Spurs managers? I'd suggest right up there. What are they going to do? Sack him? Probably. But it's just one of those things. All right, Spurs themselves. The main guy, I think it's clear to everybody, is Mickey van de Ven. Wow. When he's out of the team, we are vulnerable. And I don't know what the stats are, but when we haven't lost too many while he's playing. Mickey van de Ven, key. Missing Madison and Bergville it hurts like a kick in the you-know-what, but as we've seen the last few games, other guys have stepped up and it's been okay, but geez, it'd be nice if we had them too. Kulu's due for a good game at number 10 next week. Richarlison, I think he's only out there in the first half to run around like a blue ass fly and press, tire himself out, tire the other team out, and then when the game's really on, that's when you bring on your quality players. So Tell is infinitely better. Odebear, get him on the other side. He's better than Johnson. So I think Ange will press high, press hard with Johnson and Richarlison, and then get them off, and then we'll start playing properly. Yeah, so it's gonna be an awesome game. But this is just a defensive Ange to all those haters out there. Oh, and the other thing, because they've been playing a certain style, Ange's style, play out from the back at all costs all year. I get the suspicion, this is just a theory. There's an expression, train hard, play easy. Okay, so essentially this season has been training for this one game. In other words, play out from the back, under pressure, make some mistakes, sure. But the more they do it, the better they get. And so in the big game, Ange might say to them, look, you don't have to play it from the back. If you want to, knock yourself out, see how it goes, play what's in front of you. And all this time this year has been prepping them for this game where they have the option, individual players have the option, or the team has the option to play it from the back or go long. And I think if it works, it's brilliant. Yeah. But you can see against Bodo, we made them look ordinary, because another saying in sport is you can only play as well as you're allowed to play. We only allowed them to play very basic football. Such was the quality of the Spurs on the two legs. So got to give credit to Spurs there. We've now got the flexibility to play out from the back or go long and target Maguire, because Maguire's got at least 2 monumental errors in him per game. And I think we're in pretty good stead, especially with, wow, if Sonny comes back, and if Sonny can do something, yeah. But the joy around the world if Spurs win, given all that's happened, given the history of the relative history of Man U and Spurs, Man U, win often. But for the underdog, good old Spurs to get up, it'd be awesome. So here's hoping. Yeah, so Ange is not the problem. If Ange wins, he should be given next year and keep Mickey on the park, get rid of a few blokes, bring in some real quality. Champions League next year if they do. Look out. Yeah. I'm just here having a cup of tea in a national park in New South Wales. It's quite a nice little campground. There's no water in the river. It's been dry. If there was water in the river here, it'd be an awesome spot to camp. There's tables, fireplaces, space, green grass, lush grass. Yeah, just need that water. Anyway, I digress. Go Spurs. And when you're listening to people on the internet, just be cognizant of the fact that they are deliberately doing stuff to draw attention, to get views, to, for good or worse, become famous and make money. I don't expect to make a cent off what I'm doing here. I don't want to. It's not about that. But yeah, storytelling. People have stories to tell, and they'll do whatever it takes to tell it, whether it's a good story or a bad story. It's just a story. Anyway, have a good day, guys.